Good morning and welcome to our webinar, Active Adult Living. It could be for you. Our guest this morning is Nita Roberts, who is the Director of Sales at Cascades at World Golf Village. And this morning we're going to talk about active adult living. We're going to talk mostly about Cascades, which is located here at World Golf Village in St. Augustine, Florida. I'm Sherry Davidson. I'm the president of Davidson Realty. And our office is at World Golf Village, and we actually make quite a lot of sales in Cascades, and so we're very familiar with this property. We will also be sharing a little bit of information about a couple of other active adult communities in North Florida. It's a great area to live in, and we felt like this would be the best way to explain the different options in our area. So with that, Nita, I will just launch into our presentation, and you can tell people what an active adult community actually is.
Sure, I'd be happy to. That's probably the first question, of course, that people ask me is what exactly is an active adult community? A lot of people have a lot of different, conceptions of what it may be. It may be a nursing home, a continuing care community, that sort of thing, and that's absolutely what it isn't. An active adult community is strictly an age-restricted community. And what I mean by that is you just have to be 55 or older, or at least one person in the household, 55 or older. All right, and you got to be ready to relax and kind of, get ready to live life to the fullest. It's a grown-up neighborhood. And it's just kind of that lifestyle that we've spent our whole lifetime being able to work for. So the only thing an active adult community means is that it's age restricted and it is an active community. I think if you look at the next slide, Sherry, is for projections of what an active adult community is. If you look at people my age, I turned 60 this year. So if you look at people that are my age, 78 million boomers were born between 1946 and 1964, which means, and this is staggering, 4 million baby boomers will turn 60 every year for the next 15 years. So it doesn't take a genius to know where the market's at. The boomers will get old much later than other generations. Sherry, I don't know if you remember when you were a little bit younger and we'd look at our parents when we were kids and our grandparents, and we looked at our grandparents and we just thought they were so old. Well, that has completely changed. We sold a home to a couple the other day, and I think she is like 71, and he just turned 80, which I absolutely could not believe. And he told me, he says, Nita, don't you know that the 80 is the new 60? And I just started laughing. But you know what? He's absolutely right. We're taking better care of ourselves. We're much more health conscious. We're not sitting on the porch, or sitting in a nursing home somewhere. We are meeting life head on, actively and engaged, and and just ready to enjoy and have a lot of fun. So if you look at where the market is, the active adult market is definitely a large segment of our population. And so being able to offer a community that offers the lifestyle that we are looking for is very important in today's environment. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more in a minute, but you're going to find a lot of baby boomers and a lot of us boomers, and a lot of us active adult people are finding North Florida to absolutely be one of the most phenomenal places to live. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. The next slide talks about what are the benefits of living in an actual active adult community. And when I took this position back in November of last year, Sherry, as you know, I was living in another neighborhood in the area, but it didn't take me but about 2 months working at Cascades, so I decided, goodness gracious, I don't want to just work here. I want to live here. This is the kind of lifestyle that I am ready to enjoy, that I've kind of earned the right to be able to enjoy. So, so I made that happen. I didn't get as much from my property on the other end, but I so made up for it on this end with the great buy that I was able to make at Cascades. So it's just been a wonderful move for me. If you look at the amenities that are offered in an active adult community, they're on a grand scale. Certainly nothing I could ever afford on my own. But our clubhouse is absolutely phenomenal. We have a full-time activities director. She is on staff, and she has anywhere from 3 to 12 different types of activities planned each and every day. The clubhouse is open from 9 in the morning. The fitness center is open, I think, from about 6 in the morning till 11 at night. And there's always somebody fun up there to do something with, which is awesome. She also plans all sorts of trips, which give you the opportunity to spend, extended periods of time with friends and with neighbors. Communities offer closer relationships and bonds. The low maintenance factor to an active adult community means that instead of, now if I want to garden, I can go out in my yard and garden all that I want to, but I don't have to worry about mowing the grass and pulling weeds and pruning and doing all of those things. All of that's taken care of for me. The environment that is created in an active adult community, I don't know that there's any way to duplicate that just in a in a regular neighborhood where there's all sorts of different age groups. You're in an environment that you're sharing with friends, with families, with people of common interests, which is I think is a really important thing. The next slide talks about why North Florida, and we touched on that a little bit just a second ago. Years ago, when you would hear people from the north and people from other areas thinking about moving to Florida, you would hear them talk about going to South Florida. Well, that's happening less and less. As a matter of fact, probably a third of my database of people that have come to visit our community have been people that are in or were in South Florida that are getting out of South Florida and that are migrating up to North Florida. This coastal area, it's called Florida's First Coast, of course, because it was discovered many, many years ago. And as you know, St. Augustine is the oldest continually occupied city in the United States. So what's beautiful about that is I can get in my car in 15 minutes and be sitting in the historic district of St. Augustine. I can catch a carriage ride down cobblestone streets. I can see some of the most beautiful architecture. I can tour one of the most important forts in our nation. The shopping, the restaurants are absolutely phenomenal. The historic reenactments are wonderful. There's the First Coast Opera that sings right in the Lightner Museum. That is, if you've never sat through that, it's wonderful. The emissaries. I actually sat a few weeks ago and listened to the orchestra from the Kremlin, which was, I mean, it would just take your breath away. Absolutely wonderful. Flagler College is also there. Matter of fact, we are surrounded by many different colleges. So the opportunity to learn is terrific. Did you know that I just discovered, I went for my first cooking lesson just across the street to the culinary school the other day, which was great fun. And it's right here at World Golf Village, which was great. Our weather, people are discovering, instead of going to South Florida where it's hot, hotter, hottest, and even hotter than that, they really love the changes of the season that we feel in North Florida. We will know when it's summer, we know when it's spring, we know when it's fall. In the winter, we're going to have some sweater weather. We're going to have a few days where you're going to put a jacket on. So it's not just hot all the time. But we don't have those extreme swings in weather. We're not out there shoveling anything, which is absolutely wonderful. Our beaches are only minutes away. I know when my grandchildren come to visit, they like to try to surf. It's pretty funny to watch. But they love to get out there on the beach and build sandcastles and have an absolutely wonderful time. And it's wonderful if you're just wanting to relax to get out there and walk on the beach. The cost of living index here, it's a very affordable place to live. Our tax basis in the state of Florida is excellent. Our tax basis in St. Johns County is excellent. So your dollar's going to go further here. Health care is important. Not only do we have the world-renowned Mayo Clinic just minutes down the road, we also have Baptist Health Care Center just 10 minutes down the road, which is a phenomenal healthcare facility as well. We have an international airport 45 minutes from our door, so if you want to fly anywhere in the world, it's convenient and affordable. If you don't have an international airport where you are, it's much more expensive to fly, so it's important that we have that. Regional shopping is just down the street. We also have 2 regional outlet malls. I think, what, Sherry, 5 miles from here? Absolutely, because they have my name over the door. They know me well. They call me by name when I walk in, so they know me really well. Symphony orchestras, we have the Jacksonville Symphony is absolutely phenomenal. St. Augustine also has a smaller symphony group, which is wonderful. We do have the Times Union Center for the Performing Arts, so if you're into Broadway plays and performances, the St. Augustine Amphitheater is absolutely phenomenal, and they bring in everybody who's anybody in the music business. So if you enjoy wonderful outdoor concerts, it's just a beautiful place to do that. So North Florida has definitely been rediscovered, and as the Ponce de Leon found the Fountain of Youth, I think people tell me that every time when they're moving into the Cascades, they find the second Fountain of Youth.